Every day on this channel, I go through everything Elon said on X in the last 24 hours. And here's how many times Elon posted about each subject today. I'll go over everything he said about each topic before moving on to the next one. And starting with ADL, or the Anti-Defamation League story, Retard Finder says I found some retards, and Elon says that this is a big one. And this is why Elon is saying that. The Anti-Defamation League is referring to the Christian identity as extremism, hate, or terrorism. Matt quoted it saying, Christian identity isn't hatred, and Elon reposted it. And here are some other hate symbols and groups according to ADL. Charlie Kirk's nonprofit Turning Point USA is extremism, hate, or terrorism. The movement White Lives Matter is also hate and terrorism. And here's a hate slogan, it's okay to be white. And here's a racist hand sign. This symbolizes white power. Elon says it's so dumb. On the ADL website, when they discuss Antifa, they say while some Antifa adherents have engaged in violence or vandalism at rallies and events, this is not the norm. But on the other hand, they say Turning Point USA is an extremist hate group, according to Libs of TikTok. Elon says, wow, totally insane. ALX says, in case you're wondering, organizations who falsely label you as part of an extremist or terror group are not your friends. Elon said using such false and defamatory labels about people and organizations encourages murder. And Tara Bull says once again, Charlie called it. On September 9th, Charlie said that Teresa Stokes, the judge who released the killer who killed Irina Zarutska, never passed the bar exam. And I guess today that was confirmed September 27th, and Elon reposted it. And Concerned Citizen says these people are legit clinically insane.
Us and my body, your body, their bodies are home for the living God. Yes? Full of grace, full of truth. That is why I take my 11-year-old boy to drag shows in the summer with my friend and fellow church leader Kate and her 11-year-old boy. I want him to know that there is no wrong way to have a body, especially if you're a man, that bodies can be celebrated and played with. I want him to know that all bodies can shapeshift and be adorned with makeup and glitter, all bodies. I want him to know that there is no wrong way to live in his body, as long as his body is not hurting other bodies, amen? I especially want him to know this if he turns out to be a heterosexual, able-bodied, and cisgendered man. I want to raise a boy who knows that he doesn't get to tell other people how to live.
He says these people are clinically insane and are even willing to sacrifice their own children to the cause. Elon responds to that with 2 exclamation marks. And RFK Jr. says this is the harvest of cancel culture. The stunted pace of idea generation and debate across the entire liberal ecosystem. And by the way, you could make the same graphic for comedy. And it shows how big some of the right-leaning podcasts have grown. And Elon reposted it. And Scott Jennings says suddenly, after cheering on the endless targeting of Trump for years, no one is above the law is no longer the Democrat talking point. Funny how that works.
And put somebody who, is just simply inept and unqualified to actually have that job.
Well, she was apt and qualified enough to get a grand jury to look at the evidence and return 2 charges against him. Are you saying that this process, which is used all over the country every single day to bring crimes all over the code, is somehow broken? These are ordinary citizens in a liberal jurisdiction who looked at evidence from a prosecutor and said, yeah, it looks like there's something here. Is that not what happened?
Yeah.
Watching somebody like Speaker Johnson normalize that, it sends us down an incredibly dangerous path.
I'm stunned to hear you say we're now worried about normalizing this kind of thing. We had an attorney.
You are about to do right now. Let's hear it.
I'm about to tell you what happened in the state of New York when the Democratic Attorney General ran an entire political campaign promising not to uphold justice, but to prosecute one person, Donald Trump. And I didn't hear a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth among Democrats about normalizing the weaponization of justice.
And what we're talking about is the abuse of the system.
What abuse beyond the idea of prosecuting people when Democrats were going after Trump? Were you worried about abuse?
Because I firmly believe that Donald Trump broke the law and he was indicted.
Do you think the 34 charges that are cited all the time were good charges?
But let me actually go back to Joe Biden. Joe Biden indicted his own son. Did he deserve to be indicted? Yes. But he indicted his own son.
You're saying the White House was directing. You're saying the White House was directing indictments.
But
you're saying they were directing indictments. That's a revelation.
Have one person speak at a time. What were you just saying?
Yeah, he did pardon him.
So Elon replies saying the shoe is on the other foot. And we saw yesterday Elon saying that it's funny to think that Bill Clinton's policies when he was president were essentially MAGA. Rob Schneider says the left moved so far left that they left the country behind. And Elon says, yeah. And here was Bill Clinton talking on illegal immigration in 1995. Today's Democratic Party would call him a far-right extremist. CNN would say he's a bigot.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace, as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
So Elon quoted that saying, yep, they would call him a far-right extremist. And Elon reposted a few things pertaining to XAI. Grok now leads Open Router across every major chart. They're number one on token usage, they're number one in market share, and they're number one in programming. Grok Code Fast 1 dominates coding use cases. And Tetsuo shares a Grok 4 prompt for optimizing your Python code. And this XAI employee says the team has been grinding tirelessly on exciting projects over the last few weeks. So stay tuned for Grok Code, as he quotes what Elon said yesterday about how people are using Grok Code more than all other AIs combined on Open Router. And Tetsuo says Grok 4 Heavy is a version of Grok 4 that uses multiple agents. Instead of relying on just one model, agents work together simultaneously on the same task. After they produce their results, they compare their findings and agree on a final answer. In humanity's last exam, Grok 4 Heavy with tool use scored 44.4%. The system also contributed to Arc AGI, where Grok 4 was the first model to surpass 10% and achieve 15.9%. Arc AGI is the benchmark. Comparison to GPT-5, on humanity's last exam, Grok 4 Heavy outperforms GPT-5 High by 44.4% versus 42%. Base Grok 4 outperforms base GPT-5 with a 25.4 accuracy rate compared to 25.3%. On Arc AGI 2, Grok 4 Heavy outperforms GPT-5 High by 15.9% versus 9.9%, doubling the prior state-of-the-art in visual spatial reasoning. On easier Arc AGI 1, Grok 66.7, GPT-5 65.7. Elon quoted that saying Grok 4 Heavy for the toughest problems, and it gets better almost every week. So that's everything Elon said today. He's calling for ADL to take their label of Christianity down. He's taking notice of the conversation around the prosecution of some Democrats who all used to say that no one is above the law when they were going after Trump. So Elon says the shoe is now on the other foot, and XAI continues to make progress. So a slow day. Go spend some time with your family, get some work done, or describe your morning in detail in the comments section. I will see you guys tomorrow.